Time for another full country top 40 from 40 years ago. Another trip down country music memory lane. The last full top 40 I gave you was a couple months ago in June 14, 1986, and now it's been 2.5 months and we're at August 30th, 1986. Let's see what's changed. First of all, the charts moved fast. In 2 weeks from now, September 14, we will have a completely 100% turned over top 40 from what we had June 14. That's how long it took to turn over the entire countdown, only 3 months back in the 80s. This song, 35 songs that were not in our last feature, only 5 overlaps, only 5 songs that were in their first couple weeks in the countdown 2.5 months ago, and now they're in their last couple weeks. But other than that, we'll listen to all new tunes here. These are the songs dropping out. But let's jump into it because there's a lot of stuff. I think I told you in my last video that June of 86 was about as good as it got, and that 86 kind of slumped later in the year, and I think there's some truth to that, but not a lot. There's a ton of great stuff in here. So let's count them down and relive some country music memories from 40 years ago. And at number 40, we get a debut, Willie Nelson, and I'm Not Trying to Forget You.
And it did not last forever, oh, but that's alright. We were always more than lovers, and I'm still your friend.
And then at number 39, we got another debut. This is Southern Pacific. Ironically, their very first top 40 hit was with Emmylou Harris, and that was September of 1985, just 1 year earlier, with Thing About You. Then there was Perfect Stranger. Then there was one we featured in our last countdown, Reno Bound. It's their fourth top 40 hit about a girl like Emmylou. Nothing to do with Emmylou Harris. Tragic story about a girl who passed away, but love the harmonies on this.
Where can I find her? Where can I go? Oh, where in the world could I find one girl like Emmylou? Oh.
Yep, and now we're up to number 38. This is an overlap. It was in our countdown in June 14. It was number 30. It peaked at number 3 a couple weeks earlier, and now it's on its way down, dropping like a rocket at number 38. Reba's older brother, Pake McIntyre.
I've been saving my love for you. I've been waiting for a heart that's true. For one look at you, and honey, I knew I've been saving my love for you. I've been saving my love.
And that's the thing about songs in the 80s. Once they hit their peak, they would drop like a rock. Now, this was cool. Ray Charles had a country music album in 1984 or 85 called Friendship. And he hit number 1 with Willie Nelson on 7 Spanish Angels in March of 85. But this one barely cracked the 40, but I thought it was a great song. You can really hear the blues and the sadness. And in at number 37 this week, Ray Charles.
Those memories are all I see, like photographs of you and me, as I turn the pages of my mind, the pages of my mind.
He was the king of the blues, but man, was he heavily influenced by country music as well. And now, in at number 36, this debuted last week, on its way up 4 this week to number 36, newcomer Lyle Lovett. And further down the line.
And it's the classic contradiction. It's the unavoidable affliction. It don't take much to predict, son, the way it always goes.
Oh yeah, that song's a little bit corny, but you gotta love Lyle Lovett. It's his first top 40 hit, and he only had a couple year run in our countdown. 86 and 87, and he might have had one more in 88, and then he kind of disappeared after that. And now, Randy Travis. He debuts this week at number 36, I believe. Let me go back and check my reference point. Number 35 with Digging Up Bones. This would be number 1, November 8 of 1986.
I'm resurrecting memories of a love that's dead and gone. Yeah, tonight I'm sitting alone, digging up bones.
Man, he single-handedly brought country music back to its roots in 86, and this is interesting because this song debuted at number 34 the week of June 14, 1986. Now the week of August 30th, 1986, it's his last week in the countdown, having peaked at number 5 just 3 weeks earlier. Waylon Jennings, love this song.
It's the truth that they all look for, something they must keep alive. Will the world survive?
Yep, and up to number 33 with this former number 1. This is another overlap. It was climbing to number 1 on our June 14 countdown. Dropping now, John Schneider.
'Cause I've got all that I need to be happy. Sure, love makes everything right.
And now we get our highest debut of the week. It's the 4th of our 4 debuts. It's their 5th top 40 record. I told you their 5th one would be The Charm in our last video, Until I Loved You was dropping from 10 to 21. Restless Heart is back. They debut at number 32, number 1 bound. This will be number 1 November 15. That Rock Won't Roll.
Oh, but she's too pretty to be alone. I've got all this love inside me, and I just gotta see that rock won't roll.
Man, does that have a 90s country feel to it? Proto-90s country, you could say. The 90s are coming. Kind of reminds me musically of Tim McGraw. Maybe we should just sleep on this, which would come out a little over 10 years later in late 1996. And in at number 31, this is their 2nd top 40 hit after Hey Doll Baby stopped at number 21. This one's up a couple to number 31 this week, Sweethearts the Roadie.
I found you, honey, I found love. You're the only one that I'm dreaming of. I don't miss doing what I used to do. I don't miss nothing since I found you. Don't miss.
Now let's jump into the top 30. Lee Greenwood in at number 30.
Oh, we must have had 1,000 ways. Oh, taking our breath away.
Didn't we? Yep. In at number 29, now you really get some pop country. This is that 50s nostalgia, that 80s pop country urban cowboy sound that's on its way out. I didn't care for this song, to be honest with you. Doo-wah days, Mickey Gilley. But here it is.
And time just skipped away back in our doo-wah days.
And that's heading for the top 10. But like I say, that's the sound that's on its way out with all these newcomers and new traditionalists. Speaking of newcomers, brand new groups, Skylar, No Block, and Overstreet. They'd hit number 1 their 2nd time out in early 87, March of 87 with Baby's Got a New Baby. This is their first song, and I absolutely love this one. Beautiful story. Can't Stop Love.
Lay down with her body aching. Now heaven knows that her heart was breaking, but you can't stop love. Once it starts to flow and through, you know you can't stop love. Can't stop love.
Later, the O part of that, Overstreet, would split as Paul Overstreet and have a number of family songs in the late 80s, early 90s, but the band would regroup with Bickhart instead as SKB. We'll get into that later in 87 and 88. Gary Morris is in at number 28.
Honeycomb, won't you be my baby? Honeycomb, be my own. Just a hang of hair and a piece of bone made a walking, talking honeycomb.
Actually, that's number 27. This kind of gets confusing with all the numbers in here. Here's another overlap from our June 14 countdown. They took it into the top 10. On their way down now, in at number 26, the Statler Brothers.
Down on me,
To make sure I got
down on me,
When there's no one else here,
down on me,
I'll be right here.
down on me.
Yep, I love their harmonies. And now this was one of my favorites. This is heading all the way to number 2. Gonna just miss that number 1 spot for Earl Thomas Conley and Anita Pointer from the Pointer Sisters. Man, did they harmonize great on this powerful song.
After should be freer and too many times I ended up alone. Oh, too many times tried to prove them all
Man, country music really spanned the range back then. It was interesting compared to a lot of what I call look-alike, sound-alike country of today. Number 24, Oak Ridge Boys.
You gave my heart a home before I was too far gone. You made the rock of a rolling stone.
Great gospel music there from the Oaks, and now we're back in the pop country. This is unfortunately heading to number 1. I didn't care for it. Just wasn't a fan of pop country of the 80s, but Exile.
You gave me all that you had. You were always there to stand by me. Now it's my turn, darling, to give it all back.
It was kind of a neat contrast, though. That hit number 1 November 1, and the very next week, November 8, it was Randy Travis at number 1 with Digging Up Bones. Couldn't be a more different song. I love this one. Roseanne Cash, Second to No One, climbing to the top 5 and at number 22 this week.
I don't know if this can last forever, 'cause I don't know what I can stand. I can love you like a man should be loved, but I can't love half a man.
Oh yeah, and we're in at number 21, more kind of pop country, although this was nice and soulful. Crystal Gale and Cry.
Sunshine can't be found behind a cloudy sky, so let your head down and go.
This one's heading to number 1 in October.
Cry.
But it's one of her last number 1s, and that's a sign that the tide is turning in country music, definitely in favor of a more honky-tonk sound. And I did a few different screens. We're in the top 20 now, and look at this. Newcomer Steve Earle. Now, what's interesting is Steve Earle's biggest hit in the mainstream is Copperhead Road. That was a big rock hit in 1988, but it didn't even make the country top 40 at all on the countryside. In country music, he really had a 2-year run, 86 to 88, and his biggest country hit was this one, which he'd take to number 7. And just to give you a sense of how fast the charts turned over, even though this record got all the way to number 7 for him, it barely made Bob Kingsley's top 100 on New Year's Eve. The top 100 of 1986, this led the countdown on the New Year's at number 100 for the year. It's number 7 bound on the weekly chart, first and biggest country hit. Here's Steve Earle in at number 20 this week with Guitar Town.
Hey, pretty baby, don't you know it ain't my fault? I love to hear the steel bells humming on the asphalt. Wake up in the middle of the night in a truck stop, stumble in a restaurant, wonder why I don't stop.
Oh yeah, good energy. He definitely brought the rockabilly back to country music's roots. Tanya Tucker's back. We had One Love at a Time in our last countdown. This is her second comeback hit, and this one's heading straight for number 1, Just Another Love.
Well, I've never been burned, so I guess it's my turn. I'm gonna see how strong I am. Another love, just another love. I don't wanna be just another love.
Oh yeah. And now we're up to number 18. Both to each other's friends and lovers, Eddie Rabbitt and Juice Newton. Somebody did a YouTube on 1986. It's long gone, probably taken down for copyright issues, but it said last number 1 for Juice Newton. It's not Eddie Rabbitt's last number 1, though. He'll be back in 1990 to number 1 with On Second Thought. But this is more of that 80s pop country for you.
Still we can't stop what's inside us. Our love for each other will guide us.
And I'll be your friend.
Yep, that's the sound that's on its way out at this point. Now, this is what I call a social commentary song. It's kind of interesting because in 2016, I was reliving 1986. In 2016, I don't want to get too political, but that was the year we elected Donald Trump. And that was largely because the working class put him in. And this song honors the working class. I personally am not a Trump fan, but I'm not going to go into politics. This is about good music, and so we'll leave that alone. But this is a great summary of the working class people. I love that part about he did his time in Vietnam, still mad at Uncle Sam. Classic and Forgotten Gem by Lacey Day Jalton in at number 17.
He believes in God and devils. He gets out when he can. He did his time
yeah. Anyway, here's Keith Whitley. Miami, Miami got to number 14. This would break him into the top 10. And at number 16 this week, 10 Feet Away.
Imagine her in my arms with that look on her face, lying somewhere in some shadowy place. Hidden love, just 10 feet away.
88 and 89 would be huge years for him until he would tragically pass away on May 13, 1989. And now living legend Merle Haggard. We are up to number 15, I believe, with Friend in California. I'm going to check. Losing track. Yep. Number 15, Friend in California, Merle Haggard.
And as you lay your head on your pillow tonight, just remember there's a friend of yours in California sure misses you. You've got a friend in California that misses you.
He was one of my favorites the year before in 1985. Really kept that year fresh. We're up to number 14 now, the Forrester Sisters. They're number 2 bound with Lonely Alone.
I didn't know how bad the hurt could be. It took you walking out to make me see. Baby, please come home. I didn't know it was this lonely alone.
And up to number 13. Oh man, you gotta love Dwight Yoakam. We were playing him on June 14 at number 3 at his peak with Honky Tonk Man. This was heading to number 4 at peak. So he's still not quite reaching number 1, but his first 2 singles were memorable classics, top fivers. And man, you gotta love the fiddle and the guitar and the dancing. Man, did Dwight bring back energy. He's another great guy to just bring country music back to its roots and add that rockabilly feel in 1986. Number 13 this week, heading to number 4.
On his guitars can like hillbilly music, lonely, lonely streets that I call home. Yeah, my guitars can like hillbilly music.
Woohoo! And then we're back in kind of the pop country, but this one's soulful. Janie Fricke, and at number 12, number 1, Bound.
I love you like a fool. Always high, always waiting. But you know that it's just my point of view.
And up to number 11. This is one I said was our biggest future number 1. This is back in June 14. It was the, I guess, how did I phrase it? I said it's not going to hit number 1 till August 23. Well, now that was last week. And I say the number 1's dropped like a rock, down from 1 to number 11, August 30, T.G. Shepherd.
She's never tried to change me, and she's never changed her mind. She must have a strong heart.
All right, it's time to break into the top 10 in country music for the week of August 30th, 1986. And at number 10, a nice romantic duet from Nicolette Larson and Steve Wariner. Remember, Steve Wariner had the number 1 song back on June 14 with Life's Highway. Now he's singing with a nice, sweet lady.
They already fill up the night. They shine even brighter with your heart close to mine. That's how you know love's right.
Yep, and now we get a semi one-hit wonder. This is their second time in the 40. They got in the first 40 with Love Will Get You Through Times with No Money. But this is their only song to go all the way to the top 10 for the Girls Next Door. Slow Boat to China, and at number 9 this week.
Take a slow boat to China. Well, I didn't, baby, know we could find out. I'll take a slow boat anywhere away from you.
They were short-lived. Now, I loved Walk Me in the Rain, which also barely made the 40 in March of '87 by the Girls Next Door, and then I think they disappeared after that. Ronnie Milsap's on his way to collect another #1. I know I was kind of bashing Happy Happy Birthday Baby in the last video. This one I liked. This is nice. It's a little more on the pop side, but it's a good song. In Love, this is a jam.
I find a reason for believing dreams come true. And I know enough to know I'm in love with you.
Yeah, nice breezy, fun, good, nice love song there. Man, did I love this one from the Nitty Gritty Dirt Band. I always say it's a shame. Like, how are they only remembered for Fishin' in the Dark? Don't get me wrong, Fishin' in the Dark's a great song. That'll be hitting #1 for them in October of '87, next year on our 40-year flashback. But they had so many others. Partners, Brothers, and Friends had just hit the top 5, and then this one, Stand a Little Rain. Man, great, great song about how love isn't always easy, but it's basically worth it. Beautiful song.
When the storm blows over, I swear my life will remain. If we're ever gonna see a rainbow, stand a little rain.
All right, now I'm going to go back to the other video, or the other window I have open for the top 6. And at #6, John Connolly. This will be #1, September 21, 1986. This is August 30th. It's in at #6.
Got my heart set on you. You're everything I ever wanted. Got my heart set on you. Can't be anything but love, baby. I'm betting on it.
All right, now let's get into the top 5. Reba McEntire. Now, last time when we went through June 14, she had been #1 2 weeks earlier, May 31, with Whoever's in New England. This song was also heading straight to #1, much more up-tempo song from that album, Little Rock. Love the line about play tennis with the ladies. I'm not going to put that in this feature. I'm going to play more of the chorus, but Little Rock, fun song. Be #1 in a couple of weeks. Reba.
There's more to life than what I got. Oh, little rock, you know this heart of mine just can't be bought. I'm gonna find someone who really cares a lot when I slip off this little rock.
Oh yeah, great energy there. And now we got Eddie Raven, Sometimes a Lady, in at #4.
Ooh, but she's a class act. Looking sweet and sassy. Sometimes a bad girl. Sometimes a lady.
All right. Now at #3, this is only going to hit #2. It'll hit #2 next week, and that's as high as it's going to get, even though it's one of Hank Williams Jr.'s signature songs, Country State of Mind. I was a huge fan of his dad. Actually, his dad, Hank Sr., is what got me into country music. Had all of his records, had the 10 CD collection, which didn't come out till 1998, so 12 years after this countdown, but Hank Sr. was awesome. But Hank Jr. had a tough act to follow. This was a pretty good song. By the way, even though this one's going to hit #2, his next single will be #1 at the end of December, and it'll be a cover of his dad's hit, Mind Your Own Business, along with Reba McEntire and Tom Petty and others. But here's Country State of Mind, in at #3 this week, Hank Williams Jr., Bo Cephas.
And if the sun don't come up tomorrow, people, I've had a good time. I'm just later here in a country state of mind.
Oh yeah, I love some of the verses in there. Daddy got my favorite music on the radio, and the Rednecks, the Preppys. Okay, next week's #1, and at #2 this week. And when this hits #1, I believe this is Conway Twitty's very last #1, and it was like maybe his 34th #1. That record would not be broken until, I guess it was his 49th #1. The record would not be broken until 2003, when George Strait would score his 50th #1 with She'll Leave You With a Smile. At this point, George Strait, he's not in the countdown. Nobody in his right mind, which is his 8th #1, drops out. I think it's not till either next week or the week after that It Ain't Cool to Be Crazy Over You, which would be Straight's 9th number one, would enter the countdown. But this is Conway Twitty's last of, I believe, 49 number ones, and he would hold this record for the rest of the 80s and 90s until 2003, Desperado Love.
Hold on, I'm gonna shoot for the heart like desperados do. I got a desperado love for you.
Yep, that'll be number one next weekend and number two this week. So what is the current number one song for the week of August 30th, 1986? It is Don Williams, Heartbeat in the Darkness. Love the lyrics to this song. Love this song. Love the part about the diamond mine, ain't my kind, mansion on the hill. Here we go.
See, without love, a house ain't a home. A diamond ain't no more than a stone in the ground. I'd give every material thing I own in this life if I could just hear the sound.
Oh yeah, The Heartbeat in the Darkness, and that's number one, and that'll wrap it for us. Our countdown of the 40 biggest hits of 40 years ago, August 30th, 1986. Great week in country music. Lots and lots and lots of good stuff. And yeah, I don't know. Boy, that's a tough call. Which do I like better? See, I've been counting down every single week just to fill you in on how I know the charts and the positions so well. You can tell this is my passion. I've been doing this for a couple of years. I picked it up in August of 1984, 2 years ago, in August of 2024. I've been listen to the Country Top 40, 40 to number one, every single week for 40 years ago and 30 years ago. Got a 90s feature going too, so I'm in August of 96 there. But this is really interesting in the 80s because I got to relive all of 85 last year, the year that country music was declared dead. And a lot of it, yeah, I thought was pretty forgettable, but then there were some classics in there too. And I hate to say, as bad as people might think 85 was, it was a heck of a lot better than anything I've heard in the last 15 years in country music. 86, you can definitely see the seeds of new traditionalism being sowed all the way since January, February of 86. It's been fascinating counting down the 40 biggest hits, and you're always hearing new stuff. 4 debuts this week, that's pretty typical. Having a completely top 40 just 3 months later, that's the 80s for you. Always kept it fresh. Anyway, I think the next time I do a 40-year flashback, there'll be a couple of songs from in here, but it'll be almost entirely turned over again, November 8, 1986. Randy Travis will have the number one song then with Digging Up Bones. We heard it debut in this countdown at number 35. So, yeah, charts move and a lot of good stuff, a lot of stuff to be excited about. But I love it. And remember that this is an era that I wasn't even born yet. I was born April 16, 1987. You better believe in 8 months from now, we'll definitely be counting those hits down. I was born when the Bellamy Brothers hit number one with the Kids of the Baby Boom, which is a pretty cool song. But anyway, hope you enjoy these flashbacks. And there you have it, the 40 biggest hits in country music of 40 years ago. Woohoo!